Hello, welcome to the second episode of The Scream, an art podcast where me, James, and my amazing co-host,
Holly,
shine a spotlight on the lives and works of artists we want to discuss, because it's our podcast, and we can do what we want, as long as it meets the cast learning outcomes.
Today we'll be looking at Wolfgang Tillmans, a German photographer working primarily between Berlin and London, whose career has seen him ignore disciplinary boundaries by pushing the photographic medium into a new territory. Additionally, Tillmans has established himself as a pioneer for his raw portrayals of the lives and experiences of LGBTQ individuals.
Born in 1968, Tillmans' career began in the late 1980s as he immersed himself in Hamburg's club scene and gay nightlife, and subsequently photographed his experiences. It was at this time that he had his first solo exhibitions. However, in the early 90s, he completed his studies in Bournemouth, here in England. After his studies, Tillmans would move to London and continue to reside there primarily.
Tillmans would continue to capture scenes of clubs and queer communities, particularly of London, and so this in part led him to become regarded as the documentarian of his generation. And his style of photography has been noted for its intimacy and candid qualities. However, despite this reputation for producing candid photos, Tillmans has said that it was never his intention to be seen as diaristic or autobiographical, and that he wasn't recording the world around him or like his tribe or whatever. And there's a big misunderstanding there that still persists to this day. In fact, half of Tillmans' work is staged, with the artist choosing the clothes and the location for a shoot, as well as setting his models up in their positions.
I love that dichotomy between his intent versus how his work is perceived. I wonder perhaps if Tillmans' reputation for capturing the queer experience exists due to his work being shown in the heteronormative society that we exist in today, and that his denial of these assertions attached to his work is a rejection of such merely a rejection of such heteronormativity, as his world is more than merely a tribe to him. I digress. When you bring up the idea of capturing queer culture and nightlife through photography, and also the concept of candidness, I can't help but think of Nan Goldin, an American photographer whose work has explored very similar themes. Anyhow, Tillmans' career extends far beyond these photos, for which he has such a reputation for.
Yeah, that's right. At its core, his works are simply observations of his surroundings and investigations of the foundations of photography. As a result, he hasn't confined himself to any one area. For example, Tillmans has produced what he refers to as lighters by producing works on photosensitive paper. Demonstrating his interest in the chemical foundations of photography, Tillmans has created these in a darkroom without a camera by exposing the paper to light and then fixing it with chemicals. During this process, he folds the paper, and this combination of the chemical process and folding results in a really unique aesthetic image.
It's cool to think about the questions this lighters raise. It prompts thought into its visual form, as in what does it represent, while also questioning what even constitutes a photograph. These works bear a similarity to Mark Rothko's colour field paintings and their aesthetic qualities, which both seem to be products of the mind, where the potential beauty that exists in human interaction with processes of the physical world is realized.
A particularly interesting thing is that when Tillman exhibits his work, he often shows his abstract works with his figurative ones side by side, and the result is a blend of whimsical textures and colors of a larger scale, accompanied by the narratives and imagined stories presented in his figurative images. It could be seen as contradictory, displaying these two different approaches to photography together. However, Tillmans has said, I don't know what this is. My apologies. I want the pictures to be working in both directions. I want and expect them to function in terms of the viewer and their experience, recognizing the idea that we, as the viewer, are present in the space along with the images, and that both we and his figurative works represent reality whilst intertwining with what is fundamentally abstract.
As you can probably tell, this guy's thought a lot about photography. Such thinking and explorations have been rightly recognised, as he was the first photographer and non-British person to be awarded the Turner Prize in 2000. His career has been the subject of various large-scale retrospectives, such as At the Moment in New York, Tate Modern in London, and Moderna Museum in Stockholm. Most recently, he was named one of the most influential people in the world by Time magazine in 2023, which isn't too bad. This has been a look at Wolfgang Tillmans. Thanks for putting up with us, and don't forget to tune in to our next episode.
Bye, divas.